What's going on, world? Here with another installment of What Will It Take? It's your boy Jason, and let's just dive into it. Like I alluded to before, this one's going to be about the death of nationalism and the American corporation. So let's just get right into it. Going to try and keep this one short too. Essentially, I feel like a lot of people have a misconception about business, especially like an American corporation. If we look in the history of America, even with World War II and One, where American corporations kind of got together and, helped produce lots of wartime things and shipped them throughout the world. And we all know the story how America pulled together and turned auto factories into weapons factories and, et cetera, et cetera. So, the glory days about how there were actually partnerships in America. But what some of you might not really know, and you can certainly fact check me, is that America was all about that business, and companies like Ford were actually operating in Nazi Germany during the war, providing vehicles to Nazis. And operating, and even got reparations to rebuild their facilities once they were destroyed. So there were several U.S. companies doing business with the Nazis during World War II. You could certainly look that up. So it's not just, me lying. But even back then, when we had the illusion that business had some type of nationalist interest, they were sort of reaching beyond our borders and looking for more. So just to give you like that basic little bit of history. But in the founding, sort of days of our nation, we had a lot of nationalist issues. And many of you might not be aware, but we have gone from being an open economy to a closed economy to a more open and more closed. So it's been very cyclical with the amount of products and goods and services that we allow within the nation. And on some basic economics, in this whole everything is not all good or all bad, we always hear about open and free markets being the end all do all about how great it is. But they also have some negatives, like the positives of, allowing more products to come in, more diversification of products that usually results in cheaper products for all. You'll get some new, more innovative things coming internationally because you have a greater pool of individuals inventing things. So those are some good things. But there are some bad things that can and have happened. There's that it could shift jobs. It could change economic levels. Once companies sort of leave you, it results in actual individuals potentially losing marketability and losing comparative advantages. Because let's say if you have all your domestic production, you have a solid market. But if you have international competition coming in, you lose that direct market. So you're subject to more competition and more vulnerable. So there are positives and negatives to it, to both sides. But I think we are seeing now a lot of the verbiage for the positives of it, but we're seeing a lot of the results of the negative about it. Because look at deals like NAFTA and this new trade deal that Obama's sponsoring now that will literally take a lot of jobs out the nation. And what we need to realize is the common sense of this is that what's good for corporations is not always what's good for us. These national corporations like Procter and Gamble and Ford and all GE and all these Coca-Cola, all these traditional quote unquote American companies are no longer American. They may have some of their corporate headquarters here. I was like, but they hide some of their and file some of their profits internationally. They shift labor to other markets, and they evade a lot of our corporate taxation. So it's just what really is a national company? What is it? Is a national company supposed to have any loyalty to us, or does it mean just having the headquarters there? And I feel like we as Americans sort of feel like they're going to have our backs, and we will even bail them out because of the history they have with America that's not even on the honesty, on the up and up. But we need an exchange from them. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be an American company, then be an American company. Let's take examples from actual companies that take more nationalist perspectives like Honda. With Japan, they have lots of protectionist measures that protect their economy against us. They don't allow certain companies to buy land, and they also have like certain quotas that a certain amount of a product must be produced there. So it inherently protects a lot of their industries. They have lots of tariffs tariffs on their imports to protect their industries. And a lot of things happening with America right now is like our industries, we're gone. Like we're sort of a slave to the lowest price. So we're willing to give up an American job to get like maybe 5 cents less on the product to have it produced otherwise. And what we don't see is that the corporations are the ones that are sort of getting it. We still have loyalty to these American products, but the loyalty is not trickling down and transitioning into jobs and high paying jobs for us. So we're the ones losing out on the equation. And let's not talk about the billions and billions of dollars in corporate subsidies we still give these quote unquote American companies, and they're not translating in the jobs. And if they are, they're not translating in the high paying jobs. So I just feel like we have to just break this loyalty to these companies unless they prove that they're worthy of, being loyal to. Let them show the jobs that they're producing. Let them show how the job levels they're producing in terms of wages and income. Let us see what our dollars are really investing in. And let's get out of this notion of this fraudulent American company. Let's get into the companies that are actually doing something. Let's reward the Costco's that are paying their workers $22 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Let's reward those companies that are actually keeping things in America and not outsourcing, and realize that it's a short-term gain for this low prices. But when all the jobs leave and the income levels fall and we can't afford to do anything, who's really going to lose? So is it really best to battle over the ideology of having free commerce, or is it best to look at the practical side of having a balance where you need to have some protectionist measures to ensure against cheap labor? We're an economy that is a highly educated economy, so our labor is going to cost more. Free market moving labor is inherently going to shift all the jobs away from us. It's happening now. Most of the jobs being created are all in retail and service and low minimum wage jobs. And all the jobs requiring degrees are getting shipped out this country so fast because they can pay someone in India half. And unless we have companies that have an obligation to us and a moral obligation beyond finances to help our economy and maintain it, then we're going to be screwed, as we are right now. So until next time, what will it take? It's your boy Jason.